I think this strike is going to be the longest strike ever in the history of Nigeria because the way this strike is going, ASU is not ready to budge. Federal government is also not ready to take that leap of faith and sign the agreement between these two and just let it go and just allow the students to go back to their classrooms. A lot of these students have become apprentices. Like, if they knew that they would be learning tailoring and all those jobs that these children are now learning right now, I bet you their parents wouldn't have spent such huge amounts of money to send them to school. And last, now they have to revert back to learning all these odd jobs. Anyway, with the kind of situation that this country is in, even if they finish the degree, they will still go and learn that job because there are lots of graduates now doing fashion designing, you name it, any other, job that they usually leave out for those that did not go to school. Let me tell you, graduates are now on them, doing them because the government is not even ready to provide jobs for these students in the first place. But before we go ahead with the details of today's news, please and please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button. Most importantly, click on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we post a new video. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the details of today's news and see what the federal government has to say. Indication emerged yesterday that the federal government may have rejected the mini Brigg'S committee report following alleged allocation of pay rise of 180% to university teaching staff while the non-teaching staff were given only 10%. The federal government had set up the Brigg'S-led committee to renegotiate the 2009 agreement between the government and the university-based unions, the Academic Staff Union of University (ASU), the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian University (SANU), the Non-Academic Staff Union of Allied and Educational Institutions (NASU), and the National Association of Academic Technologies (NAT). Recall that public universities in the country have been shut down since February 14 over some contentious issues, including the renegotiation of a 2009 agreement, disagreement and salary payment platform, among others. But sources at the Ministry of Finance accused the Brigg'S Committee of connivance with ASU in imposing an impracticable increase in the university wage structure, where a professor is to earn 2 million naira, a whooping 2 million naira. Let me know if you think that amount is just too ambiguous, it's just too much. Anyway, I'm going to sit on the fence for now because I think the money is much, quite alright. But at the same time, if you think of all those embezzlement and corruption allegations of all the amounts of money that usually goes into just one person's pocket, man, this is not much because these people are going to work for their money. They are working, and in comparison to the inflation rate in the country at the moment, my people, what they sell at the amount that they sell things in the markets right now is double, like 100% increase is what you have in the market. So I think the salary should also be commensurate with what these people are going to buy in the market. It has to measure up. Anyway, let's continue. The sources close to the Presidential Committee on Salaries and Wages allege that though Professor Briggs is the pro-chancellor of a federal university, Lokoja, he still teaches at the University of Port Harcourt, hence the alleged conspiracy to make a pay rise of about 180% for teaching staff while the non-teaching staff were given a partly pay rise of 10%. And this is another thing. Why will the teaching staff get like a whole 180% increase and non-teaching just 10%? Wow, it's not commensurate at all. It's just not balanced. The scale is not balanced here. Besides, the source claims that ASU, a collaboration with the committee, excluded the relevant advisory ministries, departments, and agencies (NDAs) that were key to the negotiation. The relevant MDAs excluded, according to multiple sources, are the Ministries of Finance, Education, Labor and Employment, Budget Office of the Federation, Office of the Head of Service of the Federation, National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission from the sittings of the committee. These are crucial MDAs that manage the finances of the federal government, receipts and expenditure, as well as administering the public service of the federation were excluded. Their exclusion from the sittings of Professor Minnie Briggs easily explains its non-inclusive and one-sided proposal, recommending sky-high impracticable figures and salaries and allowances that are clearly beyond the capacity of a federal government. How can you discuss the service condition of a section of a public service of a federation without the office of a head of service of a federation, or salaries and wage structure without contributions from the Minister of Finance, Budget Office, or National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission? This is an anomaly, and how could the Brigg'S committee skate over such a grave issue? The source queried. According to findings by our reporter, the Brigg'S committee proposed that a professor should earn 19.5 million per annum, and when other allowances are added, it will scale up to 23 million per annum, making it about 2 million monthly. This is exorbitant, so this amount is high, to say the least. The allowances include postgraduate supervision allowance, teaching allowance, field trip allowance, responsibility and postgraduate supervision allowance, hazard allowance, examination timekeeper allowance, teaching practice, industrial supervision allowance. Others include honoraria for postgraduate tests, that is oral exam, honorarium for external modulation program for undergraduate and postgraduate students, allowance for external assessments of readers and professors, as well as allowance for postgraduate study grants, besides other fringe benefits. Wow, what do you guys think? Do you think this is just too much? And this is just another curveball for the federal government, because it's just going to delay this process further. If you haven't subscribed to this channel at this point, please go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.